Simpson. And Japan have gone absent without leave. This is Whitmore. Hall and Gale both available. It's still Whitmore. It is the Reggae Boys who take the lead.
Ball chat. Happy Sunday. Greetings, football family. Welcome to BCN Sports. Ball chat weekly. A very somber Sunday evening. Today is November 2nd. My name is Benton. Along with the family. George, Wagwan. It's been a rough, 4 or 5 days since Hurricane Melissa hit Jamaica. I can imagine how hard it is on your end and also the people in Jamaica. How are you staying, family?
We're good enough. We're good. You know, we had conversations during the storm. After the storm, you know, we're scheduled to have the midweek show, Wednesday, the halftime show, and we quickly came to a decision that the vibe never right. And even for today's show too, we're sitting down, we're trying to decide how we're going to approach this show and what we're going to do. And thankfully, we're on the same page. Well, a lot of things, but we're on the same page, especially with this, that football, sports in general is the big unifier, but sometimes things transcend even sports. And sometimes some people never want to hear sports. Sometimes the people that are in the sports environment want to have a different type of conversation because sometimes life gets in the way. And this is one of those moments where life does get in the way. And even though we are not directly impacted, because we there, we good. But people that we know, places that we frequent got severely impacted over the last week. And we represent those people. So, you ask me how I'm doing. I feel transcended, if that makes sense. Because I'm here physically, mentally, I am here, but also another part of me somewhere else thinking about the devastation and some things that some people going through. So it's a weird kind of out-of-body type experience. I don't know.
And I hope people heard you exactly what you said, because I actually did not select audio output, which is some of the bit of the landscape regarding today's show. I just decided to check it. There will be some technical difficulties, so apologies on the front end to all those who are joining us. The way I envision the show, it's kind of to touch base with the BCN Sports, the Ball Chat crew, see how they're doing, see how their family members are doing, you know, those who still have family members on the island, how their friends are doing, and to share information, what we have, and, you know, they probably already have the same information, and let them know how we are trying to see if we can navigate this thing on a collective. I mean, there's a lot going on regarding the relief effort. There's a lot of videos out there about the damages and the devastation in you know, St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland. And full disclosure, I come from Westmoreland. Westmoreland, I was born in Port Antonio Hospital, Portland. Did a brief stint at Vaz Prep. But I spent my formative years in Westmoreland, White Road, Shrewsbury District, Westmoreland, Petersfield, PO, Odessa, my thing, from about 5 years old or 6 years old all the way up to about 18 or 19 years old. So that's my bush. And, you know, watching those images of the devastation coming out of Westmoreland and St. Elizabeth, my grandmother's family is from St. Elizabeth. So it's been overwhelming. I've gone through every possible emotion these last couple of days, from anger, and maybe anger, I don't even know who me angry at, but we just angry for a reason, you know, somehow we just angry for no reason, whatever. I experience anger. I experience hope, you know, I experience the whole gamut of emotions the last few days. And so we want to touch base with the crew, touch base with the BCN's family, and share with them the information that we have. Kudos to family and friends and everyone in the US and Atlanta area. People are calling left, right, and center, check on the status of our families and friends and how they can help. In fact, see, I get a next call, yeah, and sometimes it's good to have people checking on you, but you're reliving the same thing over and over. For me, sometimes retelling the same stories, it get to a point sometimes where I have to kind of take a break. And so, BM, want to know how your family doing. El Pistolero, if you're depend want to know how your family and friends doing. If you're depend Dalton, Elder Geraldo, Bobo Peace, Michelle.
Yeah.
How you doing? We want to know how the people them doing and how their families doing. And if you care to jump on and let us know, because we want to be a conduit for kind of, share information, but also how we can chart the road together, because our essentially work collaboratively to help those who are on the island, because it's gonna be a long road. There's a lot of initiatives on the front end, and those we can applaud all of them, because even though some of them nefarious want to burn them out, want to applaud all the legit ones on the front end who run in to do a lot of help and helping those on the island and aggressively help. But this is not just a front end sort of solution. This is a long-term solution, and there will be phase one sort of need, food, shelter, medical assistance, medical aid, those things on the front end. But then the rebuilding sort of thing, of Jamaica and these neighborhoods and these communities is not going to be something where it just going to happen next week or next 2 weeks after this.
Yeah, and we'll have to break, to me, I have to break this conversation down into different parts, because you have, like you say, you have the rebuild. Well, at first you have the first part is surviving. That's the surviving part, and then you have the recovery. Then you have, because I think recovery comes before rebuild. Then you're going to have to rebuild. And the Jamaica, like many other third world countries, are many countries that don't have if money runs it, but the built infrastructure, the infrastructure that is built in place to withstand these kind of tragedies or these kind of events. Jamaica is already starting behind the 8 ball, right? All right, so we used to live in Florida, and I know in Florida, when a hurricane is coming, automatically the turnpike, I-75 is going one direction, right? All 6 lanes. That I've witnessed that for the evacuation. When they said we're going to evacuate, and this is not an evacuation route, every car going north. It's built in place. Them have a set infrastructure. We know what we're going to do to get out of this devastation, right? While in Jamaica, the thing that I worry the most about is we don't know the real number of people that are impacted. And if you really sit down and think about that, and to be honest, and I'm kind of debating if I was going to talk about this, but yesterday, randomly, at my daughter's basketball game, I volunteer as a parent to sit down at the front and collect people money. A man come up to me and say, yo, can he come in and watch the game? Is outsiders allowed? So I say, yeah, outsiders allowed, but you have to pay. Give him $10 and go on in. Say, yeah, he's here, he's from out of town, and he's working. I said, okay, no, sorry, you just came off away, but yeah, just pay $10 and come in. I said, oh, is it high school, blah, blah, blah. Just a make small talk. Then he said, yeah, because he works with FEMA. And he's a FEMA project manager, whatever the title is, and they were deployed in Georgia for the recent events. He called it recent cat events, right? And I'm saying, well, I'm Jamaican, you know, will I really love to have some of you down in Jamaica right now? And he went on to bash the administration, which I'm not going to get into what he said, but the fact that he kind of, and then he sat down and talked to me about how the infrastructure is built and chat enough. And then just tell me randomly like how FEMA works and how FEMA is more a money-making organization than giving aid, which everybody kind of have that vibe about them, but him kind of tell me how organized they are, and that was his worry for Jamaica, that they are not as organized there. And we talked about the infrastructure and how people don't. You have some people that don't even register in census. So I struggle now to hear the amount of the death toll, and that might not be the real number. That's the number that them know of. I'm in a WhatsApp group, and the amount of pictures I see. This a mother from Portmore, I try find out about him relative and her mother. Can't hear from them. And it's up days ago. Right? When you sit down and think about, when you get those underground stories, those boots on the ground stories, and you sit down and process what you're hearing, you can only imagine what that area is like.
Yeah, and that, that is always a worry in these events, these natural disaster events. I'd be remiss if we don't say, and sadly and tragically, 28 people lost their lives during this event. That was a recent number that I had as about 3 to 4 o'clock this afternoon, maybe 3:30. Minister of Health, Mr. Tufton, gave the Minister of Health, Right Honorable Christopher Tufton, gave a press briefing yesterday. Where he spoke about this access to areas and areas that are cut off, and the inability or the difficulties to get to these areas, and of course with these areas that are cut off are inaccessible at this time. There was a genuine concern that the numbers of people that may pass may increase, and so that is definitely a worry. Of course, one of the key things with these natural disasters is trying to get in as quickly as you can. All things considered, under the circumstances. That's why sometimes you see people with military capabilities, people with in different countries with military background, military training, kind of, because they have hardware, ATV, Hummer trucks, and all these military type devices or equipments to be able to navigate and get into areas that are hard for just regular other individuals. And I think the Jamaican government are trying to utilize, I know they're trying to utilize all that resources that's available to them. But on the front end, a Category 5 hurricane is nothing to slouch about. It's, when we went through Hurricane Gilbert, it was a Category 3? I think
it was a 4. I think Gilbert was a 4 when it struck the island.
Yeah, and I thought that was the biggest, greatest hurricane ever. But nothing compares to this, right? And this as a Category 5, the magnitude of destruction that we saw in those images.
Sorry, it was a Category 3.
It's Category 3. The magnitude of destructions that we saw in those images, I hope, and a lot of us pray that the death toll does not increase, but we can't fool ourselves and ignore that that's a likelihood and that's a possibility, because yesterday me and the Natty will a reason, and we all a check on one another and the family. We're gonna big up everyone, and the Natty big up yourself, yourself. And of course, one of the things is chronic health and chronic health issues in Jamaica, right? Diabetes, people with need of insulin, and insulin is something that requires, cool storage, and oftentimes, it's a very big point he made, like getting those things into those affected communities. So the takeaway from all of this sometimes for me is that we have a catastrophic event on that just occurred, but we don't want to make it become a public health a mess on the back end, because the immediate need is to try to get, whatever dead carcasses like animal remains and sadly human remains, get those secured and taken care of under the public health rules, and because then the water situation you're worried also about, of course you're going to have contaminants, you have potential for dengue with the mosquito situation. And the Minister, Christopherson, did spoke about this. So they are planning ahead. They said they will have people on the ground, I think close to about 1,200, 600 or so part-time vector control workers who will be on the ground in these areas trying to spray and maybe do vector control. So it's an aggressive push, not just from the relief effort side of things in terms of getting aid in, but you're also trying to prevent a public health disaster on the other side. Because if you don't control the vector, if you don't control some of these pathogens, whether it's dengue virus, whether it's bacterial infection, whether it's cholera, all these things are, you're going to have another public health disaster on the back of this thing. So they are very aggressive about doing that, based on some of the things that Mr. Tufton mentioned yesterday.
But it's easy to say it, It's easier to say it than do it. Do you, with your knowledge and your background, is there a legitimate fear that things can come out of this from a public health? Is there a worry that things can come out of this from a public health perspective that we, the public, will just never get to know? Do you have that fear? Because I do. I think there are going to be things that are going to happen that if years down the road, I think in some places that will be a direct derivative of this hurricane, but it will never be attributed to it.
I try to stay far from that. The public health space, we try to work. And those of you who don't know, my day job is public health. I'm not tell you who I work for, but that's something kind of make me live it. The public health side of things is trying to deal with the known, and the things that you can control. I mean, there's a huge mental health component of this, and thankfully the Ministry of Health, Christopher Tufton, was asked about this, and he spoke at length about it and things that they are trying to do are developing. Now we can there's a lot of time to Monday morning quarterback responses. If you say, boy, why they never do this and why that not done, and and I think there have been enough time to do that. I just hope the requisite agencies capture the data, capture the required information, so that for future events we can use this as a tool to kind of guide us and better prepare for future events. And that is being said alongside the mental health and the public health aspect, because these people who have lost their homes, and my aunt, she lost a huge part of her home, and my aunt, I love her to death, and I did have that in the back of my mind that was a possibility, because my aunt live a board house, and it's something. I'm a fan of board house, and me always just say, if I go back to Jamaica, I go build a local board house and keep it, because there's certain things that board house offer me in terms of coolness. Now, board house can't protect you in a them place, and a them hurricane, and so my aunt did lose a significant part of her board house, and so the mental thing for her now, I don't think my aunt will get no really type of mental health from the ministry. Ministry is going to have some people out in the communities trying mental health support, and my aunt ain't got them things there. She just probably put her hand on her head, and then we try what we can and try to rebuild. And I think that is one of the worry for Jamaicans, at least for me. Will they utilize the mental health support that is offered? Because you don't know, some of we not receptive to that, but there is a huge mental health fallout that could happen after this too. So that's the main public health. The pathogen side of things, the germs, the bacteria. I think we can handle that. I think we can handle that. I think so. And big up to the though FEMA man may have criticized the administration, but we don't want them cut off the aid that has been provided. So BCN Sports and any country that's providing aid to Jamaica, whether it's the USA and they've sent down Commission Corps, which are those public health people, along with Virginia, I think Fire Department, Search and Rescue Team, and others down on the ground, with those dogs to help locate bodies and help locate people who are missing. So it's a big up the UK government and Cayman government already reaching who are been on the ground providing support. So I have to applaud and fully say, big up to those countries that have already joined in and jump on to support the country.
Yeah. Big up BM. BM says, my family is good. His heart is broken for his fellow Jamaicans. It will be a long and painful road to recovery, but he also said we will overcome. He's also asking how are our friends and family doing. Well, for me, look, I like this one. I tell the female brother yesterday, and I tell some of my co-worker them because everybody is harping on this category 5. Yeah, I'm looking at them and say, look, anything over category 2 is devastating, right? There's no levels to the devastation. Devastation is devastation. You have a scale where you can scale up or scale down, but devastation will be devastation, right? And I equate it to being hot, like heat or cold, temperature. You can't say there's no I am extremely cold, I am a little cold, I am this cold, that cold. If you're cold, right? I'm saying all that to say when people come to me and I heard about this category 5, yeah, it could have been a category 1. There are still people that are going to be very affected by this. This is a test on their resilience, and for me, the thing that I make sure for the people that I could get in contact with is, you alive? So and so alive? All right. That's step 1. We'll craft that after this. You make it. Now let's see what we can do to recover. How can we recover together as a unit? And I think that's where we are. And you kind of touch on it. We're not going to really dive into it, but there's a lot of opportunistic mindsets coming out of this. Because if you realize, one thing I love the show of support, and I love the outpour of support and the outpour and the outcry on social media. I'm also wary about the hidden intentions behind these people, right? Because we can gather up goods, can ship down goods, and the goods won't reach certain people. You talk about the insulin that need to be cold stored, that we need to be cold stored. You talk about getting good, clean water. Them simple something. Big up my brother, Nicholas. I think he worked for JPS. And yesterday, he have the equipment. He made the rounds around some parts of the island on the west side. And his intention was to go there and provide a little bit of store. I think he may even have the capacity to run somebody's fridge for a period of time, just to maintain temperature, cool temperature in a fridge, right? So those are things that they're out there doing. And more so, those are people would need for support.
Yeah, I mean, Jamaica always community, people rally around one another. That's Jamaica me know. That's Jamaica I grew up in. And it's still, to a large extent, a significant part of the significant part of the Jamaican fabric, And no matter which part of them, most Jamaicans, will rally around helping Jamaicans who in need. We not gonna really focus on the one them who are try make a ends, and because I think broadly, most Jamaican 9 out of 10 or 8 out of 10 I do good for help and elevate other Jamaicans when I'm in need. The organizations, and we just are gonna share from BCN Sports. We are an NGO, we are a 501c. We have done support for disasters and other things before. We did it for the St. Vincent natural disaster when we raised some money in collaboration with an NGO in New York, and even till this day, them always link with. And this is something where BCN Sports should do and probably will likely do for Jamaica. But we're going to probably be a little bit more active in terms of getting on. I know, so I'll go over the place tomorrow, go try help load up things and get, try load up things and get things off as quickly as we possibly can. So, I always keep circling back to this thing when I was in Hurricane Gilbert. And it's unfair for me to kind of keep circling back to this, but the way to get aid, especially food, while you're on the ground, that to me that should be an urgent thing. That because in Gilbert it seems like it took forever when you're there at the bush or Westmoreland, and we don't really want that to happen again. And I think with social media and conversation and the diaspora pushing and really prodding, because big up to all the people in the diaspora who really have some pull in the Jamaican government. Big up to the people in Canada and the consulates and the different organizations who are really kind of making sure that things move and move smoothly. Hopefully we won't have those sort of things that happen during back then when media the bush. I said, well, hopefully we can get food in quickly. So the organization, of course, the Jamaica government has a website dedicated to this event where one can donate. Supportjamaica.gov JM, supportjamaica.gov.jm, and the website do have quite a few things on there. I mean, it's quite detailed, and you can donate money. They're asking for volunteer. I mean, it's a lot of things on this website, and I must commend them for doing this. Some have said that they might need to have a tracker to see how much money they are raising. I mean, I don't want to really get into that, and maybe that is true because you want to have some level of transparency. So if you want to donate to the Jamaican government or to the Jamaican relief effort directly, you can go to supportjamaica.gov.jm, and donations from anywhere in the world, you can do that. Junior, I commend them for putting up this website and putting up pretty quickly.
Well, these websites, all right. So for the tech side of it, okay, you're bringing up the tech side.
Yes.
You're hinting towards something here. That's always there, and that's a part of the infrastructure. You always have that. You always have that domain name. You just put it in a sleep state, and it becomes mobilized, or it goes online or goes into production when whatever trigger goes in place, right? So now it's been triggered, and this is a part of the infrastructure that we talk about, especially when it comes out to football, or we can build football and build up the country infrastructure in sports. It's the same thing for disaster relief and disaster recovery. So you said it came out quickly, right? From our perspective, and again, as somebody that work in the product development space, we might think it come out fast, but them inside, the big boss might pissed off because they probably needed this information out day off.
Okay.
Actually, they needed this information out probably the day before the hurricane hits.
Before, okay, before.
So we don't know what they call the SLA, service level agreement. We don't know what is there, but look, the information is out there. It's good. It obviously wasn't tested right, because if it was tested right, like you said, some people come out and say we want a tracker, but then they might sit down and say, boy, it would be nice to have a tracker, you know, but how do you build a tracker? And how do you keep that money separate? And how do you separate cash versus Cash App versus Zelle? Or you put all that? All of those things are part of the infrastructure building. And those are things that we will need to put in place. Now, this is an opportunity for the country to say, all right, we had a real life event that happened. We don't need to do a dry run. Let's use this and make our infrastructure better. Something that runners joke, because it's all through the hurricane. If you remember, the hurricane, them said was going to reach Sunday night?
Yeah,
Or Sunday night day. Then it goes Sunday night. Then it goes in on the Monday morning. And then it just stretched because it was moving so slow, right? You know, me sit down the whole night on this View Jamaica, Watch Jamaica YouTube site. And Little London, because my father's side of the family is Westmoreland. Like, I think my father went to Little London primary. I hope I'm not.
Okay, so country you come, well, the best.
Yeah,
No
but
wonder your father is a big cricketer. He come from Westmoreland.
your father Westmoreland, my mother St. Mary.
Okay.
But so the whole I was sitting there watching the Little London video.
That's
Because
on the C Jamaica C Jamaica YouTube page.
I think whichever's Jamaica, yeah.
Yeah, C
So
Jamaica.
that page,
yeah, those live cameras.
those cameras, right?
Yes.
And then I said, I look for other cameras, and I said, which other cameras are available? I said, Flatbridge. I go over Flatbridge, and I said, Flatbridge is actually a good marker, because when we watch Little London, that angle, they have a gas station, they have one store across the street. And you see, it could breeze and blow and things. I said, well, I don't really get nothing out of this, you know. We go over Flatbridge. I'm going to Flatbridge, I'm going to see the water level. Then I see the water level higher. Then I drop asleep, wake up, water the right eye tip. Drop asleep, wake up, no bridge. Drop asleep, wake up, water well high. And then the last power.
Yeah, camera went down.
Camera went down. Then now you go back and you hear about it, Flatbridge is back. Right? I used to know and me and my Arden group I want to run joke. I was say, boy, the man never build Flatbridge, you know. And them man if build infrastructure in the country. No, we say it as joke. Right? We talk it as joke. But that's a serious joke, because with all the things that happened, with the devastation that occurred, look at Flatbridge and how many times that Flatbridge, the water crests over and cover Flatbridge, and the bridge don't move. Now, you look at the architecture of the bridge, I think it have a bridge in Durham that kind of break it down. The stilts is in a triangle shape, or is a diamond shape, cutting the water.
Okay.
So it's not getting the full force of the water hitting the bridge. That's why it can always stay. That design was just perfect, right? So little things like those, how can we implement something as genius as that in our day-to-day? We see videos of people sitting down and laying up on them zinc in the storm. We see one sad video, one brother laying up on them zinc, and the next thing you see the zinc fly down with him. I don't know if he's in one of those 28 numbers. But if him survive that, him broke up. Right? Yeah, let's say a video with a guy with him have a couple trucks park opposite side of him house and put one like not bungee cord, but one of them industrial ropes. One truck to the next and buckle down his holster.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I think is Bunting, Peter Bunting. Bunting post that video. I think it's Peter Bunting posted that video.
Former Minister of Security.
I think it's him. But
Former
I think
Security Minister, Mr. Bunting. Go ahead.
maybe it's him. I want to say it's Bunting TikTok. And they post that video and he said, boy, I'm sure this setup in this community where they had a rope tied to a sandbag and it had a how you call it, pinion or whatever on one end, and the rope go to the next end, and the rope and the sandbag hold down the rooftops, right?
So,
the zinc.
so the man pretty much tied on your horse.
Yeah, but it's weird tight though, right? And one more thing says, Bunting. If it's not Bunting, sorry, I apologize. I mean, I don't even know if he's a politician, and he said, this is the innovation of Jamaicans. And he was trying to highlight the genius in that build and in that setup, right? And he said, he is a trained engineer. He got his engineering degree. He went to school, did all the years of engineering. And he said he knew if he was to design this and put it in his thesis or put it in his schoolwork and say, this that I am building can withstand a Category 5 hurricane, they probably throw him out the school and fail him. But he's looking at some people that are very poor, but figured out a way how to put and protect their infrastructure, right? So we say all that we say, the ingenuity needed is on the island. We just need to tap into it and figure out a way that we can protect our stuff.
Yeah.
And big up Amir. Amir said, I hope Jamaica get rescued and helped. Big up Amir.
Yeah, I mean the diaspora, which you are a part of, Junior, I am also a part of it, does have a large voice, a very strong voice in Jamaica. And so the diaspora contribution, I think, Natty told me a number recently, was what, 24% of the GDP in terms of funds, diaspora remittance contribute to that GDP. So, and the Right Honorable Minister Andrew Holness, Prime Minister Andrew Holness was here in Atlanta, I want to say a few years ago, when him come. Yeah. And he did have an event.
Once said last year, a couple of years ago, you're right.
Yeah, where we could have all attended. Now, some of us decided, say, we never forward, and I should have, but we never really, that vibes there. But you know, so I say all of that to say this. There, he's looking for collaboration, and the diaspora does have a weight. So you know, those recommendations can, if they come from very strong voice, you can, potentially get a movement. Yeah. Support Jamaica.gov.jm if you want to. If you want to and can support, there are preliminary needs. There's a preliminary needs list on the support Jamaica.gov.jm website, and you can scroll through and look at all these respective items. Now, from batteries to bedding to sanitation items, hygiene kits, water purification kits, to debris clearance tools, chainsaw, excavators, forklifts, helmets. There are a lot of things on this website, supportjamaica.gov.jm/needs, which the Jamaican government is requesting at this time. So if anyone has the capabilities to be able to do that. Me have a wheelbarrow now. I wonder if you want a wheelbarrow. There's a wheelbarrow here. Also health supplies. Also, and there are a couple organizations in the Metro Atlanta area that, that I will reach out to that may be able to supply some of these health items. MedShare comes to mind, which does a lot of this global response effort, and they do receive donations regarding public health supplies. So Jamaica, support jamaica.gov.jm under /needs. If you want to report an incident, it says report missing persons, roadblocks, flooding and damage, share photos. There's also a link on that website for that. So if you can submit, you have a missing person link. A question a man might ask me, how Jamaicans will do this without lack of access to internet, right? And so I think we on the outside, if we can locate our relatives or locate our loved ones, there's an extra site, there's a link on this website to be able to go in and put in that respective information. If I can find my region, Lenky. Now I don't know Lenky real name, but I can go in and put the specific descriptions where he lived, and where he was, and then they will then navigate and try to locate him at that address where I last posted, There's also a link here for donate now, where you can make a financial donation, and of course, we BCN Sports now have no affiliation with this site and this money thing. We just give you information, which a lot of you already know, but on the supportjamaica.gov.jm site, you can donate. You can do US transfers, and I will go into some of these US transfer things, some of this information about US transfers in a second, where some of the fees have been waived and people can proceed to then send money down. I did hear that, Junior, I think we did hear that some branches in some of the affected areas start open, some banks start open. Did you hear similar things, maybe not in the Westmoreland area?
To be honest, no. I didn't hear about banks opening. I'll check.
Yeah. And for volunteer registration, you can also register on the site if you want to volunteer to help to distribute. The options are food distribution, shelter operations, first aid and medical assistance, transportation, debris cleanup, communication, and so forth. Now,
so NCB did say it will resume operations at 8 branches Thursday gone.
Okay.
The branches that will be reopened are Duke Street, Halfway Tree, Constant Spring, New Kingston, Portmore, University, Maypen, and Wallaba. So nothing on the West Coast.
All right. And, they said that the government of Jamaica is mobilizing volunteers to support communities affected by Hurricane Melissa. Please complete the short form to indicate your interest and availability, and a member of the coordination team will contact you in short order. So, and it doesn't seem to, have any stipulation of where you can volunteer from. You can volunteer from anywhere. You just probably have to find your way in. I know some of us here in the Atlanta area, discuss probably try getting a ticket and fly down and try go lend a hand, And basically, you do what you can if you can. We understand, say, everyone have their own difficult situation. Don't try to kind of overstretch yourself and put yourself exposed also. I mean, at the lower part of the supportjamaica.gov.jm website, there are a few links there I want to share with people. So at the Food for the Poor website is doing relief in Jamaica, and the Food for the Poor is on the ground, and you can donate to Food for the Poor. It's Food for the Poor foodforthepoorja.org, foodforthepoorja.org. So if you're outside and you want to donate to foodforthepoorja.org, you can go to their website, and there are they have like goals and certain targets that they set here, and how far they are from the respective targets on the foodforthepoorja.org. That's one website. There is the American Friends of Jamaica website, which is another NGO that is doing work down there in Jamaica. I think they're already on the ground. Now, this American Friends of Jamaica website, I think this is a partnership with the Global Empowerment Initiative. And the Global Empowerment Initiative, I think some of you have seen that entity or the organization already on the ground. The American Friends of Jamaica website has set a goal of $1 million. And they are at 98% of that target. They have raised $978,352 so far. And then you have Michael Capione on his Instagram site there. And Michael Capione, I think, is the CEO or owner of the Global Empowerment Mission, which is based down in Miami. And so they are collaborating or working with American Friends of Jamaica, which is an initiative to work and provide support down in Jamaica. Junior, this is a lot. I mean, there's a lot of aid going in. It's a whole heap.
Lot of avenues.
Yeah, multiple different avenues. The Jamaica National Group is also, of course, those of you who are not aware, the Jamaica National Bank. Junior, you used to bank with Jamaica National Bank? I think we all we all got like those local books when look a bank book when we did there at primary school.
At Jamaica, I think I had Victoria Mutual.
I think whichever one. What happened to that money? Because I didn't put 50 cents in that account.
Yo. Nope, you just pissed me off because
what happened to my $5 that was in that bank book?
Yo, you just pissed me off because I got on there a couple years ago, about 3 years ago, 2-3 years ago, or probably even more than that. And I say, you know what? I had my bank account down there. Is it Victoria Mutual or NC? One of them. I have a bank account down there, and my father put a little money, and I see a little money, I drop a little money there. So I say, you know what? Me not like for reopen the account and start drop money in it monthly, just so that if I go to Jamaica, I have to walk with the money, I have to walk with the car.
Junior, I don't know if you want to say this, because remember I said Uncle Sam, taxman, are listening,
I don't get. I'm American, man.
That's what you want to drop money in a offshore account.
It's not offshore. It's not offshore, sir. It's not offshore.
I wish sure the pun.
But that's the whole joke. So we go downtown. Not even downtown. Because we did the for the North Coast. So we go Mobile. Go to the branch of Mobile and say, yo, they have an account, and I can't remember which bank it is. I'm so pissed. Scotia. So I say, yo, I need to reopen my account. It hasn't been open. It hasn't been used since 1999, blah, blah, blah. All right, cool. You need this. You need 2 pints of blood. You need a strand of DNA. You need your 5 shirt by your back. And that's just to get it started. So we give them everything.
You give them your 2 pints of blood.
2 pints of blood, 4 shirts, because we never have the 5th shirt, and we give them the DNA. But so by the time we reach back at America, they lock the account again.
You never put the money in it.
Of course, I put money in it.
So them black
I
they
never
come with
piss-
them send you
I never
back your
piss-
money.
No, but it's what pissed me off even more. There's no way for me to transfer money to the account from here.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
But all we can do is pull money out of the account from Bank of America.
Okay. Okay.
And then if we don't use it for 30 days, then lock it again.
Yeah, okay. So there's a stipulation. The account then become inactive after a certain time.
Right.
Yes.
So you know, well, you know, you can set up an automatic transfer from your savings straight for your checking to your savings account, and for your savings account, your checking account. You do that monthly, we keep the account active. I mean, I said, but that don't make us, it's like they make it so difficult. But look, it's a positive show where you just pissed me off on the job.
Yeah, you know, we have to highlight the positives and negatives. But I support Jamaica Fund is a fund being managed by Jamaica National Bank. It says Hurricane Melissa recovery efforts in Jamaica, Jamaica National Group, and how can you help? So those, let's see, get through the detail. There's JN money transfer from the UK, USA, and Cayman Islands. There are two ways to send money. There are two ways to send donations for free using JN Money. Send in person. Visit any JN Money branch in the UK, USA, and Cayman. Find your nearest JN Money branch using the links below, and then you can also send online for free. And the account that you send the money to, the I Support Jamaica Fund, is the account name. And I'm going to read this number. Well, the people I'm supposed to can go up on the website, so, but the account number is 209-476-8349. Again, 209-476-8349. I Support Jamaica Fund. It's a JN Bank account. That's a Support Jamaica Fund. Depending on where you are, if you're in the UK, all right. So first, I'm gonna go to Florida. If you're in the US, there are multiple locations within in Florida and Brooklyn and New York, Bronx and Brooklyn and down at Queens, where you can go and make the donation into that bank account. If you're in the UK, there are also locations in the UK, in London, Antwerp, and Birmingham. I think I did saw in Birmingham also. So check out the website, Jamaica. You can get to the link from supportjamaica.gov.jm. If you scroll down to the bottom, you will see the JN Group Support Jamaica Fund. If you know, it's JN Foundation link that then takes you to this website that you can donate directly to Jamaica Fund. So people at Brooklyn, Bronx, New York City people, you can directly contribute money to the JN Foundation I Support Jamaica Fund. And people who are in England can do the same thing. Junior, we don't have such luck while we're here in Atlanta. If we try to go to Florida, go do that.
Yeah.
You know.
Or find other avenues.
Or find other avenues. There are some, New Testament Church of God locations in Leeds where you can drop off things. So the CMJN Foundation, you can drop off items. So in a Leeds, you can drop off our New Testament location. Bristol, Cardiff, Newport, you can drop off items. And in a London also, or in respective areas, you can drop off items. And them say Birmingham, Nottingham, Brighton, Sheffield, and in parts and places in London, you can drop off. So if you're on supportjamaica.gov.jm website, if you scroll down to the bottom of the page, you'll see JN Foundation, which then takes you to a link to the Support Jamaica Jamaica National Group Support Jamaica Fund, which allows you to donate. You can donate money and you can also drop off items. What we are doing in a food corner of the world, we're in Atlanta. Things that we're gonna do, of course, we have our Atlanta chapter of the Atlanta Jamaica Association. If you're in the Atlanta area, the Atlanta Jamaica Association has a 501(c), which is AJ Cultural and Educational Fund. It's a 501(c), and they are taking donation. You can go to ajcfund.org/donate -index-impact. Or you go to Atlanta Jamaican Association website, and then you can, toggle to the link from there. Now, the AJCE Fund.org, the AJ Cultural and Educational Fund page does have sites where people can drop off items in the Atlanta area. Where you can drop off non-perishable food, toiletries, and supplies to help with relief. You can drop off at locations in Kennesaw, Stone Mountain, Lawrenceville, and Conyers, Harrison, Stonecrest, Memorial Drive. If you're in the Atlanta area, Stockbridge, these locations, you can any items, perishable food, non-perishable foods, toiletries, and supplies, they will collect, and you can drop off Mondays through Fridays. This location in Stone Mountain Highway, 5295 Stone Mountain Highway, Suite W. 5295 Stone Mountain Highway, Suite W. Drop off Mondays and Tuesdays, 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. seems to be the drop off point times for those locations. So you can drop off non-perishable food items, and you also can donate financially to the Hurricane Relief Fund, and they do have a ticker here up how much they've already raised, and they do have a disclaimer note that in collaboration with the Atlanta Jamaica Association is seeking donations to assist relief efforts. Funds contributed during this critical time will go directly to support families in communities that have been most affected. So the Atlanta Jamaican Association, and I have to always big up the Atlanta Jamaica Association because they've been a very active part of the Jamaican community, and them really kind of flex. Plus, them they give me one scholarship when I was going to university. So I always have to support the Atlanta Jamaica Association. So, Junior, I think that's it in terms of organizations. I don't think I missed anyone in terms of entities. We're going to probably have some other organizations on during the next few weeks or so who still are the work and who may need support, and just come forward and how we can help the people on the ground.
Yep, and you hint towards it. Just want to put it out there, so would I get no backlash or no hate me, which we don't really care about, but still, just I keep it official. There are other groups out there that are doing their thing, right? And I have some family members that are doing some things as well. You better know some people are doing some things as well. But what we try to give direct official information, and put it that way, right? And it's a tricky thing. It's because everybody's intention is pure, but we have to be very responsible with our approach to this thing, right? And we just hope that the relief effort goes in the right hands. And that's something that we're going to try to be a strong start advocate of. And I think it's something that was key, Benton, is in the coming weeks, months, probably years, we will get to see who really is working, right? And those are the groups that we want to stay in heavy contact with and to support, because when the early adopters are the people that run down these kind of stories, when they leave and on to the next catastrophe, that's when the real work starts on the island. And there's a lot of work left to be done. My sister in Westmoreland, I know from basic school days, and we know our place, and she sent out a video. You know what, sent out through our WhatsApp group, and you're good, you're good, you're good, you're good. She sent out a video of our place and say, this is where that was, and this is where that was. Around this is our farm, where our farm used to be, and is night and day. It is, when I'm saying it looked like a tornado went through it, is completely unrecognizable from what it was before to what it is now. So people like those, they are there, and they're going to need the support. And we have to do our due diligence and get them the help that they need.
Yeah, man. And again, football family, our sports fans, those of you who are joining us late, we Junior mentioned at the top of the show, we wanted to do a live. We were struggling how to go about it, because right now, long story short, we don't know sports news vibes, or no sports reporting vibes, to put it bluntly. And if a man or a woman don't really like the coverage or this thing that we had discussed, this is not BCN Sports enough for them. Because right now so if them subscribe or unsubscribe, then them, we can wish them all the best. Right now we are see what we can do for help our country and others in need, because throughout this thing we have to go see what we can do to help other parts of the Caribbean who are also impacted too, because not just Jamaica alone, and we know people in other parts of the Caribbean who are affected. And politics are politics. We still care about people, and we don't know, people will push a political agenda because man move with such group or whatever we not support. But I think at the end of the day, the human experience, the human lives is more important than any political affiliation. And right now, whether you're there at Cuba, whether you're there at Jamaica, we know Cuba took a hit, a direct hit also, just like Jamaica. We know Haiti also had the outer bands reach it, so they suffered some flooding. The Dominican Republic also went through some things. So we have friends. Bahamas. We have friends from them places there. So we have to go. we have to take we hand and make fashion, aka support all we can, because we don't have a whole heap, but we do what we can, I think for me this is a good thing to kind of sit down and hold a reason with the eye. I mean, because like me say, from Tuesday all the way till a couple of hours ago, 2 hours ago, I've gone through a whole heap of different mental spaces, and it's just my head. This has been a very good break, and good, for sure, show the people them what we can provide, and hopefully it can be beneficial to the group, and people can utilize this information to help those who are on the ground. And I think it's important that we try not panic this thing, because there are those who are urgently want to get things done, and it's important that we try to do it, and we do it effectively and efficiently. The urgency is important to some extent, but it still needs to be done efficiently and effectively. And what we worry about sometimes is waste. Like, you have duplication of efforts. So many people are sending things down, and then you have 15 million beds, and you don't need 15 million beds. where you could have used 5, 10 extra cans of tin mackerel or bully beef. And so this is why we need, I think, a centralized effort, who can coordinate all the effort, all the products that are coming in, and make sure the distribution is all across the board and everyone I get, because we don't want a bunch of tarpaulin and then the next thing, say, boy, what we are doing with all them tarpaulin, yeah, and we don't have enough bully beef,
Yeah.
So, Junior, I don't know. I'll leave it up to you if you want to talk no football, if you want to run no score. I am flexible.
Man, next week. Next week.
I'm flexible either way, but big up to all the family. Big up to everyone. We're going there again Wednesday night. Wednesday night we'll do I guess maybe return to regular scheduled programming depending upon what go on at Jamaica. Guys, if Wednesday night, if Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday we still have to see we see still struggles and bad images, then we still are go see if we can maybe prod and port the beer as best as we can. Maybe we have to call Brogard himself and say, what go on?
He come like, you don't want to go back to Jamaica?
Oh man, Brogard, the Right Honourable Minister Andrew Holness. And him have the best interest and him do the best he can. And Mohan said something additionally. I understand say politicians take on the work and run for office and them, and vocalize their wishes when them are run and them speak eloquently and people vote for them. But I also recognize that in a stress situation, in a disaster relief, politicians are not necessarily, some of them not good at handling these things. And they are humans, they might try to figure out the best way forward. And it's important that the expertise take the lead in these things, like the people over at ODPEM, Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management. It's important they have expertise not just in Kingston, but in every parish. There needs to be a command center. I think they already have one. An incident command center that kind of feeds information all the way up and all the way down. And each parish needs to have command centers with them. And in each parish needs to have command centers located on the ground so you can have direct conversation on the ground and direct reports wagwan. So that is where public health and incident management work from my experiences. I understand that Jamaica sometimes they run a little bit differently, but we all try to work to see if we can get Jamaica to a place where we can nullify some of the negativities, the negative outcomes,
Yeah. Build up the infrastructure because you can have all of those plans. Number one thing you need is power. So we have to get power back first. So yeah, it is. That's a beer, boy. That's a beer. That's the incident command is a beer. So
and also this is probably going to lead to this discussion is not necessarily on the front end, but on the back end of this thing, and in the developmental phase, we have to go have some strong, some tough conversations about how we build going forward, because we can't ignore the potential climatic, if that's a word. Yeah, man, it's a word. The potential impacts, of climate, of the warming climate, because I used to go to and I still do when I go look at Ochi and look at Ochi in St. Elizabeth, and if you know Jamaica, you know fish food, and you love eating fish. Look at Ochi is one of those places in St. Elizabeth where I highly recommend. Anytime want to eat a fish, go down there, Junior. Where I use the word fish today.
Yeah. I really swim around or sea creature, but so.
And we always, me and my family, when we go here, we try to look at Ochi and support them thing. And years ago, little Ochi, the ocean was far away. The shores had a lot of space. The shore had a lot of space. The last time I go look at Ochi, the shore, the water, they almost right up close to the building. And that really took me by surprise, you know. And some of the environmental scientists will say, well, this is because of climate change, sea level rising. And if that's a fact, then we have to kind of think about how we are going to look at some of these buildings going forward in this back end of development and infrastructure building, you know, because Jamaica about so big, and we have to figure out some of the planning better going forward.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
BM says, I also see people turning this into a political issue. We don't need that right now. It's time to help our fellows. Yo, some madness that BM is 100%. I agree 100% BM. Some madness up on the internet, you know.
Yeah,
we know some people say some madness.
We know.
I mean, but I'm not gonna bring it here. But this is some madness.
Remember, you always said, "Don't give it the ear."
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
You know,
and we do that.
Don't give it the oxygen.
We do that on purpose here. We remove the oxygen from the fire for out it. So without giving any noise. But there are some madness being said on the internet.
Yeah, yeah. And ultimately, my thing with politics or a politician at the end of the day, whosoever in charge and whosoever at the seat, whether it's a catastrophic event or just business as usual, we hold them accountable.
Yeah.
That is my charge. And Andrew and him team in the power right now, and them in the chair, I wish them all the best, and we are trying to do the best we can to support them, to build and improve Jamaica. But if we see things are go sideways and now work a certain way, we are going to say, yo, this is not efficient, or this not work way. And again, the diaspora does have a very powerful voice when it comes to Jamaican politics, you know. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
the politician them need to build though and realize sometimes they are in leadership for anybody that has a space in leadership or are performing some form of leadership activity. There are going to be some scenarios and some things that you just will not be. There's no right. There's no way of gaining any popularity out of this or any positivity out of this. And I think a disaster, you're just going to have a scenario where you are going to be at fault for something.
Yeah, man.
And you just need to understand that that's what comes with the territory. And deal with it accordingly, because you're going to have some people that are just pissed off. Like what you said earlier, you were feeling at some point you were feeling angry. You don't even know who you were angry at, right? So imagine all the people right now. Imagine if you live in Westmoreland right now, and you just got to a category 5 star. Me just get up vex. Me just get up vex. If me know a category 5 just tear up my place, and no politician can come around. That would be just a customer for no reason. No, the better than why you're not fireman. But vex. I completely, I talked to one of my co-worker them, and he's an Indian guy, and he must say, boy.
Oh, is that necessary?
He's an Indian. He's from India. He's an Indian. And the man say, yo.
I big up to all the subscribers then from over the country there, cause
It's not like he's Pakistani. I'm gonna say he's Indian. He's Indian. In border India, he come from a Tamil culture or whatever. So the man say, oh, he's amazed at the resolve of Jamaicans and the Caribbean people who can go through a category. So I said, boy, it's a nature of the beast, is where you are, is where you live. Because if that is your environment, that's your surrounding, you have to learn to adapt and go through it, right? But look, we keep telling about this African brethren, and let's see how Benton react. This better we know for Africa. The man, when COVID, no, it wasn't COVID. Them that play a house party. And And say, boy, I seen him name. And I say, oh, kind of sick, but him there about same way. So I say, damn, now if you have the flu, stay back and go and relax. I say, flu is nothing, man. What the name of the flu like something above Africa?
Wait, I'm not helping you on your own, Drew. You on your own with
The one they get, a mosquito, I know cholera.
You're talking about malaria?
Malaria.
What?
So the man, yo, no. The man did that. I wouldn't even talk. The man said, boy, I felt so bad. It felt like I had malaria. Everybody stop and say, what do you mean by like, what do you know about malaria? Because to me, malaria is like a death sentence, right? But oh no, in my country, we get malaria every year. Hello? What? I said, yeah, it's like a common cold for them. I'm like, shit, brother. How do you deal with that? What's about you guys deal with hurricanes? I don't know how you deal with hurricanes. It was about malaria. And then we think about people at Oklahoma who deal with category 5 tornado. You think me gonna live at you have a place named Tornado Alley? Then you gonna live at Tornado Alley? We don't deal with them things, brother. So everybody have their environmental issues. And
yes.
we all develop our resolve. And that's where I was going. You might wonder where I'm going with this.
No, we understand. It's the hurricane affect all the way, so we give you a better latitude. Actually, this is an important thing, We have to give each other grace. Especially when me come over here and chat, I come over here and chat foolishness. Give me a little bit of grace. I come over here and chat foolishness, so give me a little bit of grace.
But that's where I was going with it. We all have our resolve.
We all have our...
But at the end of the day, humanity have to stay. We cannot lose our humanity. Because I think there's a country right now we have a volcano eruption, I think.
Is that which part?
I could have swear last week, I social media state. You have one catastrophic event, people rehash some old video and treat it like it's new. Don't quote me on it, but I saw a video with I want to say it was a flash, like it was like a landslide or whatever, mudslide from the top of the hill, come straight down and wipe out a whole village. And looking at it, I've never said to myself, like, damn, I can't even relate to that. So when my brethren from India, my co-worker, linked me and said, yo, I see a video with a brother, first of all, why the hell the houses are boards? Why have zinc sheet metal house tops and which is normal for me, which is something that I associate with as that's the norm, right? The same thing, me look on that video with the landslide and the mudslide, and we cannot fathom what them people going through.
Yes.
And it's the same thing when people looking at what Jamaicans are going through right now. And at the end of the day, we all have to realize that we cannot lose our humanity in this.
Yes.
So for all those who want support the thing, but do due diligence.
Support, 100%. Junior, before we sign off, big up to all the people online. Before we go my yard and go wrestle up whatever we need to wrestle up and get donations and things ready. Just all the people at Jamaica, we know you can't hear it. Well, some of you are probably at town who have Starlink or whatever who can't hear us. We are work for getting the support and the need. Again, supportjamaica.gov.jm is a site. You have foodforthepoor.org. You have the Jamaican Foundation.org or .org or .gov. Make sure say JamaicanFoundation.com. There is the this American Friends of Jamaica. The website is theafj.org, theafj.org. And if you live in Atlanta, you have the Atlanta Jamaican Association that is also accepting donations at respective drop-off sites. If you can go to Atlanta Jamaican Association.org website and drop off a thing, drop off some bully beef, some cases of bully beef, some cases of tin mackerel, aka dirty girl, some cases of sardine, and I could rally around and take care of one another. Junior, before we go, we can't leave on a negativity. And I don't even know if we're going to have another copyright strike if we do this. But I'm going to ask you anyway.
No!
Junior, we would like to leave. Can we play Jamaica Land We Love? The national anthem.
Oh, yeah.
So but what side can we play it from?
I wouldn't.
Because if we play on the YouTube man site, they might submit a copy strike. But enough for them things.
Yeah, we're going to get struck down and put back into prison, sir.
So we can't play Jamaica. Junior, about to sing a national anthem then?
Hell no.
Let me see. We just all right. We read the words because we can't play it. So a national anthem is a copyright?
The person who owned that video that you're about to play, you can strike it.
But but they don't own the original content. Because they didn't create the national anthem.
It don't worth the risk, sir.
Eh?
It don't worth the risk.
It doesn't worth the risk. Junior say we already got you one and that. We're not gonna hit with you again.
Them strike hot enough.
Them strike hot. We just going to read it. We're going to read it. National anthem, one Jamaica, one love. This is the national anthem. Eternal Father, bless our land. Guide us with thy mighty hand. Keep us free from evil powers. Be our light through countless hours. To our leaders, great defender, grant true wisdom from above. Justice, truth be ours forever. Jamaica, land we love. Jamaica.
Boom!
Jamaica.
Boom!
Jamaica. Jamaica.
Boom!
Land we love. Teach us true respect for all. Stir response to duty's call. I want to repeat that. Stir response to duty's call. Jamaicans rolling out deep because duty call right now to support Jamaica. All Jamaicans, no matter where you're there, in our diaspora, we have to support. We have to support. Canada, England, USA, stir response to duty call. Strengthen us, the weak to cherish. Give us vision lest we perish. Knowledge send us, Heavenly Father. Grant true wisdom from above. Justice, truth be ours forever. Jamaica, land we love. Jamaica. Boom. Jamaica. Jamaica, land we love. Now, I don't want Uncle Sam run around here and talk about me and my naturalization papers, you know.
Yeah,
we stir response with duty call, Jamaicans, and all the non-Jamaicans who rally around Jamaicans. We love, big up. People from India, people from Canada, people from England, Australia, Pakistan, Junior, all the Africans them running in for help Jamaica. People from part of the Caribbean. Jamaica, we are going to ride.
Cayman Islands.
Cayman Islands, we are right.
Cayman Islands, because there are some people on the island.
All right, that we are going where we are now. Big up to all the people them who joined us today. Again, Junior, Wednesday night again, hopefully return. Well, we'll update again, keep pumping these respective initiatives, and we'll return to some level of normalcy regarding sports coverage Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. BM, big up yourself. Michelle, clock in and lock in. I want to hear from you. El Pistolero, big up yourself. Make we know what do. Big up to all the people them over on Facebook. Big up, big up, big up, big up. All the yardy, big up on yourself. Gone a road now, family.